and Brad, the two most famous physical therapists on the internet.
Hi, folks. I'm Bob Schroep, physical therapist.
Brad Hundt, physical therapist.
And together we have the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of
We're
course,
trying to get
Bob,
used to this mic.
I think you're going to blow him away with that.
How do you do? Today we are honored and privileged to have Vince, the organic farmer, with us today. Is that a good title for you, Vince?
That'll work.
Vince is very knowledgeable in a lot of areas regarding nutrition.
Right.
Am I right, Brad?
He is, and as a matter of fact, he owns and has a farm where he sells and serves hundreds of people within the area. And I am one of his customers that eats delicious food that you know is good for you. And he's going to explain it to us in just a little bit.
Well, you got to tell us where is that located. Can we do that? Is it all right people find you?
Well, our farm is called St. Bridget's Meadows,
St. Bridget's Meadows.
which is a long story in itself, but we're located out in the countryside near Coon Valley, Wisconsin.
All right,
And
cool.
if you're really looking for us, you can always find us on the web, kind of
Sure.
like the famous physical therapists.
Okay, now people are new to the channel. Some have not seen our channel, so give them a little information, Bob.
Yeah, if you're new to our channel, please take a second to subscribe. It's on the right side of Vince here, your right side, left side of Vince. And we provide videos on stay healthy, fit, pain-free, and we upload every day. And this is a little we're veering off a little bit today. I mean, this is how to stay healthy, but we're going to actually go a little bit into nutrition today.
Right, and as therapists, we know because when we treat open wounds, as therapists do, one of the big things is how are those individuals eating so they can heal properly and quickly, and it fits right into the subject. So I think that, and the title of this relates to that about diabetes.
Why are so many people diabetic nowadays? I mean,
Exactly.
it's just skyrocketed. I mean, remember when I was younger, you'd go into a bathroom, you never see a needle disposal thing, and now every time you go into a bathroom, you see those.
Right.
So-
And so Vince has some very good information and explanations of why this is happening, at least in the United States. This is, worldwide. Vince, you've traveled around the world. You're familiar with people in the Far East and whatnot, how they eat. So maybe you can bring that all in. So let's give him a
Right.
chance
Yeah.
to talk.
Well, first of all, I am a farmer, a lifelong farmer. I'm not a professional nutritionist, dietitian, medical person, but I've done a lot of observing as a farmer and as a father with children, and I've done a lot of reading and a lot of homework. To start with, it's interesting because everybody knows perhaps who Hippocrates was. Every doctor takes the Hippocratic Oath.
Right.
And the Hippocratic Oath is,
First, do no harm.
what's the second thing he said? And if you go
Eat
on the
right.
internet, but if you look up his name, the second thing that he said was, "Let your food be your medicine. Your medicine is your food."
I've seen that quote.
Yeah.
And it's critically important. As a farmer, you watch your animals, and if you feed them properly, you get wonderful production, milk production. They gain well. They're happy. They're healthy. Their skin coat. You don't feed them well, they don't thrive. They get sick. If they get injured, they don't heal. With physical therapy, I'm sure if you get a perfectly fit athlete that comes in here and they got a sprain or something like that, that's easy to work with compared to someone that's maybe 100 pounds overweight. And
Exactly.
just-
Absolutely. Yep.
When you talk about diet, basically, and like with animals or trees or anything else, you got to look at their history. Where'd they come from? What is right for them? Even a tree. You want to plant an apple tree? Do you plant an apple tree in a forest, in the shade? No. It's just not right. That's not going to work. An apple tree wants sunshine. It wants to be out there in the world. And if you plant it in the right place with the right fertility, it thrives. Humans evolved over the last, let's just limit it to the last couple 100,000 years, in the last 25,000 years, eating in a certain way and eating certain things. And as a result, we developed this whole GI tract, this whole system of digesting and processing a certain type of food, which would keep us healthy. In fact, right now, the Paleo Diet is quite popular.
Right.
And the Paleo Diet is eating the way the Paleolithic human did. And the Paleolithic human ate quite a lot of meat,
Right.
if they can catch it, right? Brad and I know sometimes that's not easy. We go whole weekends without finding any meat. But eating a lot of meat, and they ate a lot of what they could, they're hunter-gatherers, so they'd find nuts, they'd find the occasional fruits,
Roots.
Very roots, tubers.
Yeah.
They would find very, they'd find grains once in a while, certain times of wild rice and that sort of thing. But in general, it was meat, it was tubers, it was nuts, it was fruits, and it developed a digestive process that would take these things apart slowly and steadily and supply your body with the protein it needed and the carbohydrates it needed. And as a result, you thrived and you're healthy. Okay, go back in our more recent history, let's go back just a couple hundred years. It's 1825 in the United States of America. And you've got people that are farming, and they're pretty much living off of the same kind of a diet. Believe it or not, I mean, as you folks know, you need 2,000 to 3,000 calories per day to be okay. And those calories can come from just, pure sugar, I guess, or they can come from a balanced diet.
Sure.
In 1825 to 1850, right in there, most of the calories, the highest proportion of the calories would have come from animal fat.
Sure.
It would have been bacon and beef steak and that sort of thing. The average American in 1825 ate about 12 to 15 pounds of sugar per year. Anyone want to guess what it is today?
Oh, God, hundreds.
It's 175 pounds.
Wow.
175 pounds of
Sugar. Pure sugar per
sugar,
year.
not carbohydrates.
It's like a half a pound
Wow.
a day.
Wow.
So maybe this has something to do with our diabetic issue.
Oh, just maybe, huh? Really, if you really want to distill it down to one thing, one word, it is sugar.
Sure.
Sure.
And, like I said, I'm no dietitian, I'm not a doctor, but I enjoy reading, enjoy paying attention to things, and sugar. It's
And would you include carbohydrates with that? I mean,
no, not really.
really.
I mean, right here is a potato,
right,
which has 48 grams of carbohydrates in it,
right.
but of complex sugars, and only 3 grams of just plain sugar. The simple carbohydrates that go right into your system and cause all these problems. To go back a page, maybe all your listeners know this already, but what is the problem with sugar? If you take this apple, for example, it has about 14 grams, I'm reading the label, it has 14 grams of complex carbohydrates in it. And if you eat this apple, it's going to take your digestive system. It's going to take your digestive system quite a while to break down that apple and to
Process it.
process it. And there's a lot of fiber in it.
Sure.
Okay, this fiber the apple goes into your stomach. And your stomach is high in hydrochloric acid and kind of begins to break things down a little bit. Then it goes into your small intestine, and a whole group of bacteria begin to attack it and take it apart. Because when you feed yourself, to a great extent, you're feeding your microbiome in your body. You've got literally, it's hard to imagine, but tens of thousands of species, billions of individual little critters in your GI tract that actually do all the digesting and actually take this potato apart. It's not some mechanism your body has. It is the bacteria.
Wow.
So you're feeding them. And I was a dairy farmer for many years, and this was the basic thing that you were told as a dairy farmer. You're not feeding the cow. You're feeding the rumen. You're feeding its the bacteria in its rumen, which does all the digesting.
Sure.
And if you throw something into a cow's rumen that is different than they've been having for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, that's radically different, you will kill off all that microbiome, that flora in the rumen, and the cow.
So you're saying
is
the
sick.
good stuff in there.
The good stuff is the good stuff. Well, once again, if you've got a certain amount of surface area, a certain amount of space for bacteria in your GI tract. If you feed them properly, you've got the good ones. The good ones that have been living with us for thousands of years, and they have been. The recent science has traced them back thousands of years.
So
if you feed the wrong stuff, eat the wrong stuff, you get the bad ones.
And I take it that's the sugar.
So what's happened to this apple we were talking about? Went in there, it's got sugar in it, but it's got fiber.
It's going to go from the, okay, so now it's in the small intestine, and there's a certain amount of the The simplest sugars are taken apart and passed through the cell wall of the small intestine, but not very much of it. It's going to get most of it's going to end up, because it's so high in fiber, it's going to end up in your large intestine, where there's a very, very incredible population of bacteria that begin to break it down and take this fiber apart and find all those nutrients and bind with them and release little by little all this energy into your bloodstream. A good analogy is, if you, okay, let's go back. That's the apple. Now let's take the donut.
Sure.
Or worse yet, let's take the chocolate milk. Because the chocolate milk here is a very, very depleted food. This is 1%, which is very popular. They've taken the fat out of it. In dairy products, in milk, the vitamins, the minerals, all the good stuff in milk, most of it is fat soluble. It's in the fat. So if you take the fat out, all you've got left is water. And interestingly enough, milk consumption, plain old white milk in North America, milk consumption is dropping at a rate, it's gone down 35% in the last 10 years. If you follow a line, in another 20 years, it's zero. Nobody drinks milk. Because 1%, 2% milk, it's terrible.
Sure.
Who wants to drink? What kid wants to drink it? But chocolate milk is a different story.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's not the chocolate. It's the 48 grams of sugar in there.
So it's almost like drinking a can of pop.
It's exactly the same, if not worse. In fact, I don't know if everybody knows what 48 grams of sugar looks like.
Okay, we got sugar.
Let's say you see somebody drink a cup of coffee and they put 2 cups of sugar in it. Well, a teaspoon is 4 grams. So that would be 1, 2, 10, 11, 12. And this is what we give our 6 and 7-year-olds in grade school.
Wow.
With this?
With that.
Yes.
That's got 48
That
grams of
alone
sugar.
to me today is the most shocking thing. I'm serious, because they've been touting this as the drink of athletes now.
Right.
You know,
So maybe this answers the big question about diabetic problems in.
is that there's sugar is being found in sneaky, places.
Right, they're
basically.
sneaking it into
No,
your
so-
milk
so-
even.
so-
Oh yeah.
You know?
Well, we're going to have to cut off here, but a very interesting talk, and we'll continue on one of our next videos with some more interesting topics. Thanks a lot for watching.
Stay healthy and be strong like bull.